Okay, let's take a look at the rules of exponents. But before we get started, let's do a quick vocabulary review. We talk about the exponential expression, which is simply called the power. We talk about the base. That's the number that gets multiplied. And then we talked about exponent. The exponent tells you the number of times to multiply your base. Okay, so we just want to keep that fresh in our minds as we work through the first rule of exponents here, which is multiplying powers. When multiplying powers, we must have the same base, and in order for that rule to apply, the base must be the same, and we add the exponent. So let's just write the rule down. So we have x to the n power. I'm going to use that as multiplication. It's multiplied by x to the n power. And according to the rule, we're going to keep the base because our bases here are the same. So we're going to keep the base and we're going to add our exponent, m plus n. This is our rule that we're going to use and apply it to some problems. First problem, let's look at x to the third power times x to the 8th power. According to the rule, if I look, my bases here are the same, so I'm going to keep my base and add my exponents. So 3 plus 8. What would that give us? Keep my base, add my exponent. X to the 11th power. Hope that's making sense to you right now. Let's take a look at a second power. Second example. See, 2 to the 4th power times 2 to the 2nd power. Okay, according to the rule, my bases are the same, so I'm going to keep my base and add my exponents, which is 4 plus 2. And that will give us, keep my base, add my exponent. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 to the 6th power. Hope that's making sense to you right now. Let's do a couple example problems multiplying with the same base. So our first example, at x to the 3rd is being multiplied by x to the 4th. Okay, according to the rule, I must have same base, and I do, and I add my exponents. So 3 plus 4. That will give me x to the 7th power. Hope that's making sense to you right now. Let's do another one. If I have 4 to the 5th power times 4 to the 5th power, according to my rule, same base, and I do, I just add my powers. 5 plus 5, which would be, keep my base, to the 10th power. Okay, so I hope that's making sense to you right now. Let's try one more. I have 4 to the 2nd power. What do you think? According to our rule, we must have the same base. So we're going to ask ourselves, do we have the same base? And the answer is no. So we can either leave it in this manner and say there's nothing else we can do, or if it says to simplify, we can simplify it. So let's just go ahead and simplify. There's no power written, it's always a 1. According to my power, it tells me I need to multiply 3 one time. Okay, so 3 times, and according to my power here, wants me to multiply my base 2 times. Okay, hope that's making sense. So 3 times 4 will give me 12. 12 times 4 would equal to 48. So let's do a quick recap. Remember, in order for us to apply this rule, multiplying powers, we must have the same base. If we have the same base, we're going to go ahead and add the exponent. If we don't, we either leave it as is or we can simplify. Hope that's making sense. Okay, let's take a look at our second exponent rule. Dividing powers with the same base, once again, we're going to keep that base and we're going to subtract the exponents. So let's see what that rule looks like. So x to the m is being divided by x to the n. According to the rule, my bases here are the same, so I'm going to keep my base and I'm going to subtract my exponents. Okay, so let's apply a few examples. See what that looks like. We have x to the 5th power is being divided by x to the 3rd. All right, let's go ahead and apply that rule. Once again, my base is the same, so I'm going to keep that base and I'm going to subtract my exponents. That is going to leave me with x, 5, take 3 away, to the 2nd power. Hope that's making sense to you right now. All right, how about you try one for me? How about we try 3 to the 5th power is being divided by 3 to the 2nd power. Okay, base is the same, so I'm going to keep my base and apply the rule. 5 minus 2. Keep my base. 5. Take 2 away. 3 to the 3rd power. Hope that's making sense to you. Okay, let's follow up with some examples for dividing powers. So our first example, let's take a look. X to the 7th power is being divided by x to the 4th power. According to the rule, my base is the same, so I keep my base and I subtract my exponent, 7 minus 4, which would equal to, keep my base, 7 minus 4, x to the 3rd power. Hope that made sense. Let's try one more. We have 6 to the 9th power. It's being divided by 6 to the 3rd power. According to a rule, my base is the same, so I'm going to keep that base and I'm going to subtract my powers. So 9 minus 3 would equal to, keep my base, 9 minus 3 would give me 6 to the 6th power. Hope that's making sense. Remember, you can always pause, rewind, and watch as many times as you like.